Now back to Inside Real Estate. Here's Mike the Realtor.
Hey folks, we're back inside Real Estate, Sports and Entertainment. Mike Kruizinga here, your host. Come on in, stay a while. We got some sports to talk about. One of my favorite segments of the show. We're going to talk sports. We've got live in studio Coach Fred Williams from the WNBA Dallas Wings. Coach, how you doing over there today?
Mike, I'm doing good. I heard your voice coming in, and I said I'd come on up here and check you out.
Well, I certainly appreciate it. We appreciate it. We're excited. I'm an Arlington resident, and, of course, you guys are going to be playing over in Arlington at UTA. You're going to be down the street from the Cowboys and the Rangers, basically the new sports mecca in the DFW area. So we're excited to have you. I'm excited about it. By the way, folks, Dallas Wings, new team here in town, previously the Tulsa Shock. And you guys just came on down, and so Coach is here in studio with us. Coach, we got a number of things to talk about. Let's talk about a couple business items first, and then we'll kind of get into maybe your background a little bit, talk about what's going on in the offseason, talk a little bit about the draft, and then some of the changes with the league as well. By the way, folks, 20th anniversary of the WNBA. And that's really hard to believe. Time absolutely flies, doesn't it, Coach?
Yes, it does. And, people didn't think it would last this long, but, the league had a plan. And we're in conjunction with the NBA, and so we got a great support from them. And, it's good for the ladies to have a dream once they come out of college.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit more about the league maybe a little bit later on, and maybe talk about some grassroots as well, which I have a tie to in my past working with the NBA and Hoop It Up and whatnot. Let's talk a little bit about, your background. You started out at USC, kind of went over to Utah, Atlanta. You guys went to the finals. You were very successful in Atlanta as assistant coach, then head coach. And then, first time that Dallas went to, Tulsa went to the playoffs was last year. So very successful. Let's talk a little bit about, your coaching record and a little bit about your background.
Well, my background, it's been a long journey, should I say, about 33 years in women's basketball. Started at Southern Cal as an assistant coach. We won 2 national titles right away there with some great players such as Cheryl Miller and Cynthia Cooper and Pam McGee, who's a Hall of Fame player. And spent about 12 years at Southern Cal recruiting players, such as Lisa Leslie and Tita Thompson and a lot of NBA and Hall of Fame players. So Absolutely. I've been surrounding myself over the years with some great talent. But going to Utah was good because I was able to have my roots back with Frank Layton and Coach Jerry Sloan, who I tried out for the Utah Jazz back in the day, and got kind of beat out by a guy named John Stockton. The rest is history.
That bum.
Yes. So they were good mentors to me, and they still are. And with Atlanta, we were an expansion team, and we were able to come in. And the first year was a rough year there in Atlanta, lost 17 in a row, and then all of a sudden everything clicked in and ended up going to the following years, going to the WNBA Finals 3 times. And my last stunt there was great. And then coming to Tulsa, it was just starting over again with the franchise 2 years ago and getting them to the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what was a big driving factor in Tulsa coming on down to Dallas? We talking just market size at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's more of an ownership decision versus our team itself. But I think the market size, for us, with travel, going through a lot of times when you go out of Tulsa, you got to travel a lot. So it took us about 8 hours to get to certain venues. Now it would take us about an hour and a half to 2 hours for us flying.
Right. Yeah, and obviously that's a huge thing with the ball players being, stuck in tight, cramped quarters, and that's not good on the body for sure.
Well, it's different because, we still travel commercial, and we haven't gotten to the luxury of the charter yet, like the guys do or with ownership. So, but that's standard-wise where every team have to travel charter. And it's good. I think we get touch that with the fans and gain more fans by shaking hands when we get to the airports.
Yeah, being in that close proximity to everybody, that's a big deal. One of the things I like about the WNBA is, some of the things that are on display in the game are, what made the NBA really great, as far as I'm concerned. Huge NBA fan, huge basketball fan. The fundamentals of the game, the balance between fast break and well-executed half-court offense, these are things that were kind of built the NBA. And I think the NBA isn't necessarily that game anymore. It's certainly evolved into something a little bit different. But what kind of made it so great, I think, is on display in the WNBA. And I really like that. And I think the fans, the purists, I think see that and like that as well.
They do. You know, we say once you come to a game, if you've never been to a game, once you get there, you get hooked because these ladies really put it out there. They really play hard. They do all the other things that the NBA does: shoot the 3-point shot, drive to the lane, take charges, physical play underneath the rim. Got a few ladies in the league that are starting to dunk the ball, and it's pretty similar to the guys. And I think we play it back like it was when Bob Cousy and them were playing. You make 4 or 5 passes and share the basketball.
Right. Well, and for the purist, it's team ball. You like to see team ball, and sometimes you just get tired of, even at the boys' collegiate level and at the NBA, it kind of becomes just back and forth. And if you ever watch hockey, you get tired of watching where the puck is. You're going back and forth. Sometimes that gets a little bit old, and so it's nice to see real, pure basketball, and I think it's a great thing at the WNBA level. By the way, folks, we're talking to Coach Fred Williams of the Dallas Wings, new WNBA team here, relocated from Tulsa. First preseason games coming up on May 8th against the Connecticut Sun. May 21st is the first game, home opener against the San Antonio Stars. They're playing over at College Park Center at UTA in Arlington, so conveniently located here in the Metroplex. Let's talk about what you guys did in the offseason. Obviously, you guys were moving down. They had to lock you guys and the coaching staff down, so you guys are pretty much solid. Everybody at Tulsa came on down, right? Yeah,
pretty much. On the basketball side, my whole staff is coming back. Bridget Pettis, who played in the league, is all-pro player, is coming back with me, and also Ed Baldwin, who is a great recruiter at Ohio State, and knows a lot of the young players that's coming into the draft. So yeah, the staff is all together. We're all geared up, and we're just fired up and ready to go. Good. Some big changes in the offseason as well. You guys did some wheeling and dealing to get the first-round pick in 2017, as well as the 5th overall in the draft coming up next week. By the way, you guys have a draft party on the 14th. And fans can be a part of this as well. Is that right? Oh, absolutely. Anytime there's a party, you always welcome fans, and come on out and enjoy, the music and, have some good entertainment there for you. Yeah, folks, if you want information on the draft party, which is coming up April 14th, that's next week, head over to the Wings website, DallasWingsBasketball.com, or you can always click over to them from the WNBA site as well. Speaking about the draft, now you did, as part of that we talked about, picking up that first pick in 2017, the 5th pick next week, you also picked up Erin Phillips as well, the Aussie. And so how is she going to fit into what you're doing? Great. I think, she's a guard that can also shoot from the outside, but also bring the ball up the court and really distribute that offense. She's from Australia. So she'll be on the Australia Olympic team playing against, the United States. But she's a veteran player who's won in this league as a champion and is a proven player. So when I had an opportunity to move up in the draft this year and also have a number 1 pick again next year, so I have 2 picks. I have LA picks. So I said, hey, that's a no-brainer. I got to take this player and have her come in and help us. Yeah, make that happen. Absolutely. And by the way, we've got a couple callers on the line. Callers, please hang out. We're going to get to you, and we're going to actually allow you to get a question into the coach here in a little bit as well. So please hang on the line for us. Hold out. We'll get you on the show here shortly. Let's, and a lot of people don't know that. We've got a shorter season in the WNBA, so a lot of your ladies play international ball, and, with the NBA season, much longer season, a little bit over double, and then longer playoffs. The ladies, they play internationally, and so, it could be good or bad, injury-wise, but it could also be good, keeps them fresh. What are your thoughts on that? Well, there's a lot of thoughts on that. One is that you always worried about your players going over there and getting injured in the off season. For us, it's different than the NBA because the guys get to have a few months off and kind of do some private training. But the ladies, they go over and play for other club teams, and then they get back to us around this time of the year in April. And we got maybe about 7 days of training camp together, and then I got to reprogram them. I got to reprogram them for the regular season, which comes in at about 3 weeks later after training camp. But it's a talk. I always cringe when I get a phone call from a player overseas, because I don't know if there's something happening over there with the different countries they play in, or if they're injured.
Right. Yeah, because different team dynamic. Yeah, you got to reprogram them. It's funny you use that. You got to do that. Absolutely. Obviously, in the offseason also, you had to probably a priority re-sign Skylar Diggins. Now, of course, she had the knee injury last year. How important was it to you to make sure you got that locked down before, moving into the draft?
Well, very important. I thought, Sky is a player who's had the opportunity to, look into the free agent market, after this year. And I think she wanted to show her total commitment to the Dallas and DFW and Arlington area. And for her to do that early and be here for multiple years, that says a lot, that she is really committed to this community and also committed to this team.
Yeah, I mean, big-time ball player, big-time scorer, but she went down then, the 9th or 10th game last year?
Yeah, we started off, I think, we were 10-1. We were really rolling there, really good, and our foundation was great, and some other players kind of followed suit with a couple of injuries, but we hung in there. We wanted to, kind of leave Tulsa with a good taste of making the playoffs, and that was our goal, was to make the playoffs. And this year's goal is to continue that and shoot for a championship.
Yeah, I mean, always the great coaches are the ones that get through all the injuries, particularly injuries to the major players, and still getting the job done. Just again, great coaches always do that. Let's go ahead and get a caller on the line real quick. We want to get maybe a question in from her, and then we'll come on back and talk a little more about the league a little bit. Let's see if we can get our caller on the line. Miss Brewster, are you on the line with us?
Yes, I am.
How are you doing this morning?
Doing great.
Doing good. Well, you're on the line with Coach Fred Williams. You got a question for the coach?
No, I don't have a question. I just wanted to say I'm really excited that the Wings are coming to Arlington. I live in Arlington, and just really excited to have them playing in our city. And I'm eager to go to the games.
Well, very good. Well, we're excited. You're excited.
I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited you called in this morning, and especially on a nice Sunday and on Mike's show here. It's that's a good thing. So we look forward to you coming out to the games and enjoying the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on the line for us, Miss Brewster. Thank you for calling in. We're looking forward to seeing you at upcoming Wings game. We've got some tickets for you, so hang the line for us, and he's going to grab your information, and we will get those tickets over to you. Thanks for calling in.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach. Let's get into talking a little bit more at the league level. Obviously, the playoffs changed a little bit. Playoff rounds increased from 3 to 4. Single elimination in the early rounds. Of course, best of 5. How does that impact you?
Well, it impacts the top 8 teams get in. It's the same way. You just don't have divisions or conferences, and so you just want to make sure that you're number 1 or number 2. You don't have to worry about the rest of it.
Right.
But, we just want to make sure that it don't impact the young ladies or myself or what we're thinking. Our goal is to go out and make a playoff push, have a good season first, but make a playoff push. And then once you get to the playoffs, then it's all about championship, because you get reseeded every time you win in the playoffs.
I saw that, yeah, which is very unique. Who are we looking at in the draft? I know there's some projections, maybe Rachel Banham, who in the first round potentially, obviously, who knows what's going to happen early on, but several of the Connecticut girls are probably going to be gone by your pick. What are we looking at?
Well, for us, we're looking at a player that is kind of athletic. We got the 5th pick in the draft, and I think around that position there we have somebody who's athletic, got some size, maybe about 6 foot above, and who could help us from the outside with shooting. And then we also would look at a post area, a player who can fill in that 5 spot, but it's got to be a powerful rookie to come in and really, dominate some things. And I think, when you look at, Stewart and also Jefferson of UConn and Tucker, those three players are, could go 1, 2, and 3 in the draft. Who knows? But
right.
Yeah, we're just looking for the best available when we get to 5, and we're still having conferences about that, and all the way up until draft day.
Up until draft day, yeah. And of course, I'm sure there's a lot of things that maybe go on behind the scenes, and we don't want to give away strategy and whatnot, of course. But well, let's talk a little bit about women's basketball. I mean, it's come a long way in 20 years with the WNBA. The ball has gotten better, but how, at the grassroots level, from the league level perspective, if you compare, let's say, youth girls basketball to youth girls soccer, it's a night and day difference. How do we reach out at the league level, the team level, to get more girls playing basketball when they're playing soccer by leaps and bounds? But we need some more girls playing basketball to get them into the WNBA.
Well, a lot of it is having more clinics and camps for the youth, and for myself as a coach, I go out and try to do probably about 40 or 50 in the off season of clinics, 2-hour, 3-hour clinics, camps. Father daughters, mother daughters come on out and support their children in some type of league, and it's getting there. And exposure with the internet right now helps out a great deal. It's better than what it was before. And so each year, I think every 5 years, you see a big leap for as the younger kids getting in and getting better.
Yeah, I know in my past in sports marketing, we worked with the NBA on a national tour called the Hoop It Up Tour. And we actually did it in Canada, Mexico, the U.S., and as well as in Europe. We did some 5-on-5 in Germany, different things in Paris. And it was a huge grassroots initiative. We're talking about 15,000 to 30,000 players and spectators at these events. 30,000, that's, 10,000 more than the AAC holds. Pretty big outdoor events. Do you think there's anything like that, maybe at a smaller level, that the WNBA could do at a league level in WNBA league cities that might help with that?
Yeah, I think they have that in plan now, and I think with our new commissioner, she's got some new ideas about trying to expand more to the youth and also expanding our brand out into the public. And the more you can go travel around the country or different areas around the world, it only helps our brand and our name to get out there. Just like the NBA, they play over Istanbul, China, Japan, and they do 1 or 2 games over there. So I think we're going to be in that mode here real soon.
Good. Well, folks, we've been talking to Coach Fred Williams. Dallas Wings just relocated from Tulsa, the Tulsa Shock. Hey, folks, they're going to be playing right here in Arlington, right in the middle of the Metroplex. They're going to be playing at College Park Center at UTA, just down the street from the Cowboys and the Rangers. First preseason game, May 8th. May 21st is the home opener against the San Antonio Stars. Of course, next week you actually have a chance to be part of the draft day party on the 14th. Go to the DallasWingsBasketball.com website for all this information. Hey, great ball, folks. If you're looking for some great pure ball and you're not watching WNBA, hey, these guys are in our backyard. Check them out, Dallas Wings. Folks, another great show, Inside Real Estate Show, Sports Entertainment. Hey, guess what? We'll see you next week. Have a good one.